Welcome back to episode 17, and today we're going to go back over what happened over last episode and the progress leading up to it. So, first, we're going to talk about military alliances after the war. During the war, it was widely accepted that many countries would have military alliances, stuff like that. But after the war, many countries have expected other countries to leave said military alliances, stuff like that. So, we are going to see the leaving of the Tibetan team, Southern Chinese, basically all of Asia except for the Korean team, as now they've realized how much of a threat North China can be after the entire World War II scenario, or what happened during World War II. And we're gonna see basically the entire collapse of the Heptagon Alliance and the Star Alliance, which, except for a few other places, we're gonna see France join the military alliance right here. Hello. Boom. As they are gonna join the military alliance, the military Star Alliance, and we're going to see more countries join the economic alliances. That way they can figure out what to do with said stuff. You're going to see several other countries join many other alliances, specifically the economic alliance. For example, we're going to see France, wrong shape, we're going to see France join this economic alliance. And also I need to move this one. Give me a second, because everything's being weird. So we're going to see the Koreans stay in the economic alliance, but be heavily hindered to not join it or do anything else in it, as they had just escaped the war with the Northern Chinese, which the Vietnamese will quickly join on the economic alliance. That way they don't hinder their success, along with the Northern Indian team, as now this is basically seen as a world organization and stuff like that. Oh, I gotta get their capitals. Oh my gosh. Despite previous tensions, we're going to see Greece join the Economic Alliance. They weren't originally going to join it, but again, previous tensions kind of caused them to join, as now their government regime, which we're going to take a look at it now. I gotta update it again. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a second before y'all see an update. But we're going to see the Greeks immediately become a monarchist nation, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there could actually possibly be a blend between monarchy and fascism. Like these two, they're pretty similar in color. Give me one second. All right, and this is kind of the color blend that I just went with, and we're gonna be seeing this color. Hello. All right. No, that's still way too close. Okay. Um, a little bit of a lighter color should work. Um, boom. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. We should probably just remove this real quick. Okay, boom. It was never there. But based on what I currently have and not updated of the ideology maps, this is what we have so far, which I'm just going to instantly turn off. And we're going to focus back on the economic alliances, which we're going to continue to see more expansions to the alliance, which will look something along the lines of this, as we'll see the Central Asian country join the economic alliance. Oh, that's too big of a color. Give me one more second. Okay, boom. We're going to see the economic alliance expand all the way into the Asian regions, all the way up here, which is going to include two more nations. And we're going to see the Egyptians join this one, as they had previously betrayed Greece, as they're kind of like the Iranians. They want to betray the ever living. Um, yeah. We're going to see Latvia join, we're going to see Finland join, and we're going to see other several Nordic countries join on this, as they see it as a huge economic opportunity. Just because I place it this big doesn't mean It's actually that giant on a global scale. We're going to see this tiny nation right here join. And we're also going to see the Swedish country right here join. Boom. And we're going to see Scotland join an economic alliance. The largest one in the world so far, and we're going to see a new one be created. We're going to see the Circle Economic Alliance, and it's going to be between the Polish, surprisingly, the Moldovans, the Romanians, I don't know anymore, the Saudis, the Yemenis, thank you, the Sudanese, that's a lot of East. We're going to see the brown African country right there join, the green African country, the magenta African country right here join, and we're going to see this red nation right here also join, along with the Caribbean nation right here. Oh, that's one thing I gotta fix. That's about it for the economic alliances. Oh wait, I got another one. We have the new creation of the Triangle Economic Alliance, and it's gonna be between the green Asian country right there, Mongolia, Central, or these Chinese nations right here, Tibet, and southern India, surprisingly. The other African nation right here, this pinkish reddish country right there, along with the beige tan weird country right here, also join this economic alliance, which leaves these up here, which boom, 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 boom. It basically means if you do not join a economic alliances, you are stupid. Which also allows this Yucatan Peninsula country also be part of it, along with this other Nicaraguan country right there. Basically, every single country except for other neutral ones have been joining economic alliances, and we're going to see a new bloc be created in the military alliances. We are going to see the creation of the Diamond Military Alliance. It's going to be between the Ethiopians, the Saudis, the Yemenis, the Sudanese, and the Southern Indians. Despite how far they are a huge not economic, a huge geographical help, as they basically have control of all of the northern western part of the Indian Ocean, and we're going to see a new bloc be created as well. We are going to see the Parallelogram Alliance be created in Europe, and it's going to be specifically in the northern areas, specifically the Scandinavian areas, as it will hold most of these areas, including Finland, surprisingly. And it's all going to exclude one country, which is the purple nation right here, as again, they're trying to be one of the most neutral nations in the world. And weirdly enough, Ireland will join. And we'll also have Denmark join. I don't know if that was important or not, I just wanted to say they had joined. But now we're going to see another one be created. I know, another. We are going to see another one be created as usual, and it's going to be the Trapezoid Alliance. It's going to be between the Yucatan, the Caribbean, the Nicaraguans, the Tennessee Nation, Michigan, Toronto, or Ottawa, and Quebec. Boom. All Trapezoid nations right there. And that's probably going to... It's mostly an entire military alliance to stop invaders and stuff like that. But we're not going to see the red Floridian nation right here join. Let me just fix it real quick. Alright, I just fixed the borders down here. And we're going to see another one be created, and it's going to be the Rectangle Alliance. The Iberians. Oh, shoot, wrong layer. Good thing I knew that. The Rectangle Alliance, which is going to be between the Iberians, the Germans, the Polish, the Yugoslavians, which is now just Bosnia, Hungary, Latvia, Romania, and Cyprus, which most of these countries are just centralized in Central and Eastern Asia, as most of these countries that had to break away from Poland, they did not want to break away, specifically the Latvians and the Hungarians, as they did not want to break away. Now, another one will be joining. Why are you a part of this alliance? Give me 1 second. Alright, I just came back from finishing it, and I just updated the Danish, and everything should be looking pretty well, and we're going to see a new alliance be formed, and it's going to be the Pentagon Alliance. The Egyptians, the Iranians, the Tibetans, the Northern Indians, and, weirdly enough, Central Asia right here. And, well, I guess we can include it, but we're going to see a country join 2 alliances, and it's going to be between... Hello? Okay. The Koreans. Okay, thank you. And between the, let me bring it out real quick. And between the Pentagon Alliance. So Russia has joined 2 different alliances, which makes them extremely profitable, and they can play both sides, I guess. And we're going to see the Star Alliance be adding new members. Boom. Bop. Scooby-Doo. And last but not least, and weirdly enough, the Floridians will be joining the military alliance. Weirdly enough. And that's all the military alliances of Asia and the Americas. And now we're going to move on to Africa, where we're going to see this little country, these 4 countries down here, making another one, or their own version. Alright, I don't know if my mic picked up on me saying them creating their own version. We're going to see these African countries creating the Right Triangle Alliance, which is a very weird shape to use for this map. But anyways, we're going to see these 4 create their own alliance, which is they're going to actually invite the brown team down here and this other African nation right here. Which means every single continent has at least 1 alliance, or actually 2 alliances and more, or if not more. But we're going to see these bunches of countries down here. They're going to get in their own thing economically. Not militarily, economically. As you can tell, they're kind of in an economic war right now. And Australia is not in one. And we will be seeing the Green Australians joining the Hexagon Alliance, or the Hexagon Economic Alliance, which will lead to a worldwide, I don't know. Also, all the way up here, let me just fix it. Right here, the red team right here is going to be joining the Economic Alliance. The Yugoslavians will not be joining anything, and the Danish, they're going to be joining the Circle Economic Alliance, despite being a part of the Parallelogram Alliance, which kind of confuses things until you realize they're trying to play both sides. So yeah. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the capital layers, or the city layers. As this is the entire world map, let me just turn on the religion layer. Crap. Let me just fix it real quick. Boom. As this is eventually supposed to become its own layer for the world, the religious layer. As we see all of this, this is going to be weird. Boom. You know what? Boom. All of this is green now, and this is kind of where population is. Not a whole lot down here, not a whole lot over here yet. But if you look in the Asian areas and the Western European areas, and close to the Arabian Peninsula and Russia, just look in Asia, basically. That's where most of the population is. And I want to say the most condensed populated area is either Japan or all the way over here in this little area right here. So yeah, That's the most condensed area, I want to say, but okay, boom. We're just gonna get off of that, and we're gonna move on to capital layers. As you can tell, many other countries have been added into the world. Specifically, let me just count real quick. So I went ahead and counted, and we have around 20 new nations in the world. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And put timestamps. I know some of y'all are trollers. But over here, there's a little bit of turmoil in the new region of the Iranian conquered territories, which would mostly be like over here and all the way over here. Yeah, so most of the areas all the way over here and all the way over here are very rebellious. And it's going to continue to stay like that, and in fact, maybe even get worse. Sorry, it's like midnight right now. I'm recording this. But oh well. We're finally going to see more exploration um, into the South American region, which I'm just going to size up the brush, and they're going to be exploring all the way up here, even more into the Amazonian rainforest, which they are sending scouts, not the important people, but they have fully explored all of the Amazonian areas, and this is when they will begin to reach the Amatomica Desert. I don't know how you freaking people say it. But, and they begin to go against the Chilean mountains over here, the Andes Mountains, and they discover that there's land behind it, and it's the exact same. So at this point, they've explored everything except for Antarctica, which is very fast for episode 20, or for episode 17 at this point. But again, I plan on creating the layer for the religious layer on I'm trying to remember. Probably on episode 20, not gonna lie. But other than that, we are gonna see the full exploration of all of these areas, which will now look like this. All of South America has been explored, and no countries have been expanded yet, all the way into the South American region. But now we're gonna be focusing on to the rebellious parts of Asia, specifically Korea. All the way up here, regions all the way up here have been rebelling, specifically in the Siberian areas, all the way up here, Sakhalin, um, other regions of Korea, all the way up till like probably like uh, all the regions highlighted in white are rebellious territories of Korea. Like obviously up here, there's like no one living over here, but in the colonial regions, we're seeing a higher areas of rebellious talks over here, which look something like that. And sorry for my mouse. It's sorry. But we're gonna also see new countries reappear and some old ones reappear from a while ago. I will say specifically the Green Crimean team over here. But now we're gonna see a version of the League of Nations being formed by France. It's gonna be in the economic, or no, it's gonna be in the military alliances. I want to say, but let's go ahead and create that. We are seeing a new you know what? No, scrap it. Give me one more second. Alright, I just came up with the layer, and it's gonna be called the World Committee layer, and we're just gonna go and disable the military alliances. It's gonna be arrows, and it's gonna be in white. That way we can know what it is and not. Boom. We're gonna see all these countries become arrows. That way they can join the alliance or the World Committee. I cannot speak, probably because I'm having a lot of lack of sleep. Other than that, we're going to continue to see countries join the world committees, and I probably should not have made it an arrow, but oh well. And like down here. Oh wait, no, that's fine. So we can just do that, and for England, we can just do that. Okay. As long as we can knock out the small nations first, we should be fine. And boom. That's most of Europe finished. Just let me finish Latvia and Russia. Cyprus. Greece. Iran. We're going to see most of the countries join the alliance, or I keep calling it alliance, but no. We're going to see most of these countries join the World Committee because of, like, that way they can get political news on them and stuff like that. Tourism. Oh gosh. Tourism. Anyways, we're going to see most of the countries join this, other, like, with a few exceptions. For example, Tanzania, Ethiopia will join. We're going to see the Thai join, the Vietnamese join, the Koreans join, but we're not going to see the Northern Chinese join. The Southern Chinese will. Tibetans won't. The North Indians won't. The Southern Indians will. This country right here, Mongolia, will join. This Northern Russian won't. Central Asia will join. And I believe that's all of... Yep. Australia will also join. And now let's move on to over here. We're going to see Quebec join. The Ottawans will join. The Michigans will join. The Floridans won't. The Cubans will. The Yucatan will. And the Nicaraguans will. Boom. And I'm just going to highlight some stuff real quick. Alright, I will have, like, leading countries, for example, France. These countries with the red and the arrow is going to be leading world countries where they have more of a say than the rest of the world. So, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Greece is because they have pity in them. Egypt because they control the Strait of the Suez. Cuba, Michigan because they're basically a French puppet. That's about it. Despite this many circuit council members, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about you. Yeah, you don't join this. We're gonna see this little purple nation in Sweden be it. No. We're gonna see this purple Norwegian country right here be part of the council. Because yes. And now this is what we have the World Council being looking like so far. And I say it's pretty successful, in my opinion. Trying to think. Oh wait, speaking of, like, rebellions, we're gonna see a successful rebellion appear in the Iranian areas. And since they're in the World Committee, they have, like, they're basically the UN, basically, and the League of Nations combined, basically, yeah. And they're communist nations, which kind of explains why. You actually don't see a whole lot of communist nations in this, except for the Michigans. That's actually about it. Most of the communist nations didn't even want to join this, actually. Except for, like, the Irish, but they're small and feasible now. But now we'll focus on to the rebellions of the Iranians. And it's going to be red for the sake of what's going on up here. That way it looks better on the map. We're going to see them grow exponentially in size as they're going to appear all the way up here. Though we're going to have a different rebellion up here. And, well, the Red Rebellion will appear in multiple areas. Weirdly enough, they're right next to the Russians, though the Russians are actually not sending aid to the rebellion right here, as they themselves are dealing with a lot of rebels. Boom. And probably, like, one more area right up here. Boom. And now we're going to see another rebellion up here. And let's make it green, shall we? A bright green. As it will appear right across the recent Tibetan annexed areas over here. Boom. Now we're going to see a original Caucasus nation. Let me bring it up. Alright, expect a scenario with previous large countries. For example, Greece. Like, what if what if World War I turned out for their favor or whatever. But this is what used to be the original Caucasus nation. Now let's bring it in. Where's my? Thank you. Let's bring it into our regular scenario. Copy and paste. This is what they used to look like, and this is what they look like now. They're kind of gone. As half of their nation used to be in Russian territory, which is still true along today, and the other half used to be split between the Iranians and the Greeks, which is not true anymore. And we're going to see this country rebel heavily as they are beginning to reappear into this region over here, which I don't believe used to be. Oh my gosh, I dare you. Okay, yeah, this region over here kind of didn't used to be part of this region, but a lot of these people used to immigrate from the region of the over here. But the Greeks can't really do anything about it as yeah, because they're kind of separated from each other, as their naval compatibility is not what it used to be, and we're gonna continue to see the Caucasus nation try to revive itself, which is what the Italians tried to do over here, but they didn't work, and we're gonna see another one appear, but it's gonna be a free the Iranian government. Let's make it a bright pink. That way y'all can see it. It's gonna be right down here along the Persian Gulf, and we will actually have a country funding this. Let's look at military alliances. Yeah, it's gonna be France, Saudi, Greece, and a little bit from Russia, cause yeah, we're also gonna see the Ethiopians, the Chinese, the Koreans. A lot of countries do not like Iran. Yeah. So we're gonna see a lot of rebellions appear. We're gonna see a giant one appear right against the Caspian Sea, and a little bit further into the mountains of Iran. We're gonna continue to see giant rebellions all the way over here, which are slowly getting taken over from the, yeah, boom. And this is when they basically become. Give me one more second. They basically become anarchy. Okay, let me fix that. They basically become anarchy. Yeah, the Iranian government is not working out, so the World Committee will say, like, no one should intervene, though we totally want to. You guys are not allowed to intervene without any say, unless they are going against, like, I don't know, human rights or something. That's what they said. And we're gonna see the Free Iranian movement appear, begin to take place, and they were trying to approach the capital to seize the Alabam thing, Alatran, their supreme leader, as I think they're a monarchy. No, they're communist, right? Which means they have a dictator in charge, and it all goes to the female dictator. As female in this world control most of the men stuff, though men are still more superior than the women in this world, specifically against the Islamic version of these countries. Other than that, we're going to see the red up here getting slowly taken over by the Iranian troops, which are basically non-existent now. It's just a few other areas that actually have Iranian troops. Up here, we'll quickly get connected, as that is where most of the Iranian troops are stationed, right here, in case they need to fight Russia or anything like that. And we're going to see a little bit more fighting in the region up here, which they'll completely surrender. But we're going to begin to see the Red Rebellion quickly connect with each other. Boom. And they'll completely take over this little peninsula right here, which is where most of them have to feed themselves. And that kind of ruins the entire, even more stability of the country, which slowly becomes, boom. They basically have an entire area secured for themselves up here, which, by the way, if we look over here, used to be a puppet state of the Greeks, and it used to exist as its own country. But enough of that. We're going to continue to see the Iranians try to invade into this rebellion, which goes a little successful until it doesn't. As now the rebellion is regaining ground into their previous lost areas over here. Boom. Which is slowly not going good for the Iranians, as now we will begin to see the green team move their forces in to grow their little thing up here. I don't know. Let me just. Oh no. Okay, there. That makes a little bit more sense, and you guys can actually see it more. Boom. And we're gonna see the Green Rebellion team slowly go down the area right here, slowly going down the Indian border. And it's kind of strategical as the Indians are actually feeding them resources, stuff like that. And now we will begin to move on to the Caucasus Nation. The Iranians really don't like this country, as now the northern part of the Caucasus Nation will quickly regain most of their control. But sadly, we will see the other portion of the Caucasus Nation get quickly re-annexed. And that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and peace out.